All right, and welcome back to an extremely special edition of Stardom, Betem Fantasy Football Podcast, where gambling meets fantasy. I'm your host, Brendan Shelly. I'm with my guy, Dan Ambrose. Dan, what's going on, dude?
Not much. WNBA playoffs starting this weekend. I'm excited to get that going. Got the Las Vegas Aces at 22-1 to win. Currently the 2 seed.
That is not why it's an extremely fun episode, but that is some good information. It's good to know about our Las Vegas Aces, and I know our friend Candace, so if you're listening, shout out to you. We know you're obsessed with them. Yeah, a lot to go over. We watched some football last weekend. That's extremely important updates. We got some real numbers. We got some real bets. We got some real wins. We had some real bad losses too, but overall it was a lot of fun. We saw that we were right on some things. We were horribly off on others when it came to backfields, when it came to starting lineups, when it came to prediction. We're going to have fun today. We're going to recap all that. We go over some injuries and then get into what we're thinking for Thursday night football. All right, Dan, sound like fun?
I can't wait.
It's a lot. All right. There's a lot of information. We're going to go through it very quickly. For my older folks listening, I don't know if you remember the Micro Machine Man at those commercials. I might be talking like that at one point. So Dan, slow me down if I get carried away, because there were a lot of key injuries. We're going to start with the biggest one, in my opinion, is George Kittle. He is on the IR officially, which means no more Kittle for 4 weeks. He continues to be one of the most dominant players in the NFL when he's on the field, but holy shit, he can't stay on it. It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I think San Francisco's going to have to figure something out, and I'm sure you'll touch on it here in a minute. Between him and Purdy, the season just not starting off the way the 49ers wanted it to. I mean, I'm sure they were hoping last year was just a fluke with all the injuries, but it's starting off the same way for him.
Hope he gets better. Love seeing him on the field, but for now, it's time for Jake Tongs. So let's see that tong. See what he can do. He had a decent catch. Had his first 3 career catches last week. I think it was probably his first three targets. I mean, they had Charlie Warner last year, but you can't expect these backups to just step in and be these superstars. I just want to make that very clear. So if you have ambition of this Jake Tongs guy becoming Kittle, he's not Kittle. He's just some guy that will happen to get more playing time, but he's not going to be Kittle. Still, opportunity knocks. Who knows? He could take him and it might pay off. Very little fab money on him, maybe $1. And if you need a tight end desperately, you don't really have a backup, pick up Jake Tongs this week, or at least some other people that are still out there.
The one person we're not worried about is CMC. So, I mean, feels like complete opposite.
It was the opposite of Shanahan last year. They actually came out and gave an injury report, scared the shit out of everybody. And then CM is like nothing happened. Whereas last year, like, he'll be out there. And then all of a sudden the day of, they're like, yeah, you're not going to see him all season. So complete opposite. CMC was a little wrecking ball as always. He was a heavy participant of the offense, and frankly, he was the offense because they had a couple injuries outside of Kittle. Jawan Jennings, he literally says he can't lift his arm right now, so I'm curious to see what happens with that.
Not contract related either, no?
Maybe he needs more money. He'll be miraculously healed again, Dan.
He can't lift it up, so that's not good for you. He doesn't need any more money.
Sign the contract. Yeah. And then on top of it, their leader, their captain, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, apparently he's injured. He's got a toe problem that might be serious. Then he's got a shoulder thing and non-throwing arm.
I mean, maybe Purdy just needs to wear steel-toed boots or something. I'm guessing it's got to be a foot stepped on or something, right? I mean, I don't know what else that it could be.
Frankly, that game was a lot closer than most people anticipated. So it was a ground and pound kind of game in the end. It was almost boring, that game. I don't know if you
a little bit, yeah.
Did you enjoy that game?
I enjoyed it because I had bet them -1. As far as the action goes, I did not think it was overly exciting compared to the rest of the games that were on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the scoreboard. You think it was a riveting game. In the end, I was not impressed. The offenses looked stagnant. A couple times you saw people connect that you wanted to. Ricky Pearsall was one. He made us a lot of money. He was my golden cow on that game.
That might be the last game he's like that for you too, because they'll probably adjust
because now the books are valuing him.
Yeah.
Exactly. You guys listen to the last episode. I love week 1 because sometimes you can be ahead of the news almost because you've done the preparation, because you watched the videos, you trust your instincts on these players and you bet them. Well, what happens after week 1, the books adjust. They use those averages. They use every statistic known to man to figure out these odds, and they're going to get better at you. So it's important you stay on top of it. You stay on top of the injuries, and you figure out where the value is with these prop bets. Jawan Jennings signed. Ricky Pearsall was still not getting the respect he deserved. I think I got him at 3.5 catches, which he ended up with like 6 or something. He was the main man there. Very fun game. In terms of winning Ricky Pearsall money. Outside, very boring.
This week they play the Saints. Injuries included,
Yes.
they're probably not going to have too much of an issue with New Orleans.
No.
But,
I can't see them having too much of an issue.
I will say New Orleans played a little better than I thought Yeah, I thought they played a little better than
They
I think.
covered, right? Didn't they technically cover? Weren't they 8 and a
What
half
was the score
points
last
kickoff?
against? They played the Cardinals, right? I had it at six
So
and a
they
half is what
covered.
I saw it. So I think Cardinals
Oh,
covered.
okay. Cardinals did cover. Good for them. Yeah. You know who didn't? That's fine. I was going to make short jokes about Kyler Murray, but I'll stay off those. It's beneath me. It's so dumb. We'll see. We'll see if I keep that in. So Drake London went down like almost on the last series of the game, right before they scored and then missed the field goal. Shocking turn of events. Chris Olave in concussion protocol. I didn't see that one coming. Brock Bowers, this one he did leave early with a knee problem. We got to keep updated on that. We don't have the current status, but obviously we're going to monitor that one big time. Another one, Evan Ingram. He's going to be missing time. Another tight end. We kind of got into Bowers and Kittle. Why not bring up Ingram? 100 catches. He's going to be out for a little bit. Using 3 tight ends there anyway, showing Peyton not being loyal to a tight end. Surprise, surprise there. And the only time he did that was in New Orleans. And then obviously other stuff happened. Puka Nakua, head bashed in. There's blood everywhere. This guy looks like John Reagan's in the 1970s and 80s. He's all good. He came off the field again, had a little blood in his eye. Nothing wrong with that. A little football. Will Shipley, we talked about it a little bit in Thursday Night Football. He looked really good as a backup, and then the next thing you know, he was just gone from the game. So the Eagles made a dramatic move, and they made a trade. They traded for Tank Bigsby. Will Shipley is probably more hurt than we thought, and the Eagles made a move and solidified that 5th and 7th round pick, and we got Tank Bigsby. Dan, what are your thoughts? A lot to digest. I tried to go quick as possible.
And
But a lot of
contrary
news.
to what you may have seen on television, Tua is not hurt. He just played that terrible against the Colts. That was
Yes.
quite disappointing to watch.
We had a good weekend from this show standpoint. The bets that I put on my ex, if you were listening and you followed, congratulations. I'm sure you won some money. Hopefully you bet more than I do. We won 15 units over the weekend. That's a grand total. Our
great.
biggest night, obviously, Friday we were unstoppable. We were 4-0. Sunday we took over. We had a pretty good day, and then obviously Monday we did really well last night. So overall, very strong weekend. And anytime you win 1 unit, let alone 15, you had a good weekend, in my opinion. So
That is correct.
yeah. How'd you do with yours, man? How'd your pick'ems
My
go?
betting went well, up about 7 units. I went 6 and 3 or something like that
It's a
for the
great
week.
weekend.
So yeah, it was good. My Broncos bet came through. That was my favorite one. I had probably made about a month ago, which is a good thing I did bet it a month ago because I got it at 7.5. I think it closed at 8.5. So they win by 8. So I end up winning by the hook. And I'm sure people who bet later ended up losing.
We did well collectively, like I said. Recap some of them if you followed. I hope you did. Trey Tucker was one of the bigger ones. He hit very early in the game. He was over 39.5 yards. He hit 55, so that was an easy win. We talked about an injury, Chris Olave. If you listen to our show, we said bet on Rashid Shaheed because he's the only guy that can stay on the field. Guess what? He needed 3.5 catches. He got 6, so he cleared that. Bijan, we know he got the catches. The other big bets that we did pretty well on was our boy Ricky Pearsall. We talked a lot about him. Opportunity was struck. Jawan Jennings is out. Hammer Ricky, and we did well there. Keon Coleman, the preseason superstar that everybody's talked about, training camp, etc. We need him to get over 37.5 yards. That was chump change. He got 112. Some of these we cleared like crazy. This quarterback we talk about here and there, he did pretty good. He looked pretty damn good too. So we need him to get over 179.5 yards. And Justin Fields threw for 218. Very solid yards. Of course, he didn't look good at the very end of the game, but overall, way to go. Thank you so much, Justin Fields. We will continue to chase you, and Dan will continue to trash you. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, when he's 0 and 5, he's not even going to be on the field. He's going to have his 202 yards average per game and not be on the bench because the coach is afraid of losing his job.
Bringing in Tyrod Taylor again.
Yeah.
He can stay alive. I
Bring
think
in
he's
anybody.
injured too. Yes. With these big wins, we also had some big losses. Our biggest bet of the weekend was made on my boy Calvin Ridley. We needed him to get over 4.5 catches. This son of a bitch got catches, and the 5 was literally in his hands, and he said to Cam Ward, "Nah, we're not going to win this game. I'm going to let this go right through my fingertips." If you watch the Tennessee game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure you were as disgusted as I am. That he makes that catch 90 out of 100 times. So that was our biggest bet of the weekend by 0.2 units, and it lost. Luckily, the other big ones hit, so we came out on top really nice. Holy crap, that one crushed us. I would have loved that bet. To be honest, if I had hit that bet, I wouldn't have been as aggressive on Monday night. I'd made a lot on Monday, though, so I did very well. But I was more aggressive on Monday only because I just thought I'd be up more. Let's get to that number. I like these bets. I'm going to be aggressive and put a little bit more on that game. I hit the numbers I wanted to, but God damn, just hold on to that ball, man.
It's
What a
week
weekend
one,
we would
Brendan.
have had.
It'll be fine.
I
Any
want
week
more
that you can
ammunition.
come out ahead, you're fine. So if you can do that all 18 weeks, you'll be happy.
Yep, very true, very true. That's the goal of the show, right? The other one is to talk about some fantasy football players, and there's been a lot of craziness over the weekend. Some big news that we talked about a lot was Braylon Allen pretty much taking over that backfield in New York. He did not take it over. Brees Hall ran his face off. He looked pretty good. Braylon Allen did get a lot of carries though, but it was pretty even split. And honestly, Brees Hall looked good. He had a really good burst out of there. The other running backs that we talked about, one of our other bigger bets, Tank Bigsby. I had him over 47 and a half yards receiving and rushing.
Ran all the way to Philadelphia.
Yeah, he touched the ball maybe in the fourth quarter, and finally he starts getting some yards, and that game just was trash. So just like that, they shipped him out of Jacksonville to Philadelphia.
Maybe they traded a mid-game, and that's why they weren't using him.
Well, could be. Sometimes it happens. You know, their they put him out there for a little bit of a showcase, not much. They don't want him getting hurt. This is the worst possible place in the world for Tank Bigsby, by the way, for your Tank Bigsby owners. I might end up editing this, but for my Dynasty Fantasy Football folks, you have two different phases. You have a rebuild mode, you go contender mode. When you're contender mode, you're in the top 3 of the league. You're going to win. You're in the money. Rebuild, you basically are the 76ers under Sam Hinkie. You're selling all your assets. You're getting as many draft picks as you can and just trust in the process. Well, my one team, I blew it up. I sold everybody. My running backs coming into the season ended up being Braylon Allen and Tank Bigsby. All of a sudden, both the running back ones in their depth chart. I'm very excited. I'm like, holy shit, I just went from rebuild to contender because a couple other guys were playing well too. So I make some trades, trade away some of the picks that I made last offseason. And guess what? Now Bigsby's gone. He's pretty much third on the depth chart when Will Shipley gets back. And A.J. Dillon's mixed in there too. And then Braylon Allen, Brees Hall's alive and looks pretty good. So my team's trash again. I'm going to have to sell shit to get back in rebuild mode because I want those draft picks back. I'm definitely going to be middle of the pack, and that is the worst place to be in Dynasty. You don't want to be this 4, 5, 6 spot. Just get out of that. Just blow it up. Sell everybody. But sorry, rant over. Just that pisses me off so much, Tank Bigsby. If you have him on your teams and you're like, wow, I got a diamond in the rough here. This guy's going to be a starting running back at the lion's share of the carries. Holy shit, we were off. That's Samsonite shit. Way off. Right? So what are your thoughts on this, Dan? Any surprise things you saw this weekend that you were waiting to see?
I was surprised by how bad the Steelers' defense was. That kind of shocked me. Fields did look pretty decent out there against them. I was not expecting that. The big one for me was the Bengals offense. All offseason, everyone's talking about their defense, the struggles there, but I believe Burrow only had like 113 yards passing. So they definitely got some work to do. Now, maybe Cleveland's defense better than what we thought too. I would be shocked if it happened again in week 2, but if they struggle again, there actually might be some problems with that offense.
Well, they got Jake Browning, so they're ready. No, I'm joking. It was weird to see that offense so bad.
They should have lost.
Yeah, they should have 100%. And Joe Burrow came out and said that too. We got away with a win there. We should have lost that game. So, because they should have, they looked horrible. So what a weird game that was.
I would say the one thing I'm not surprised with was how bad the Giants looked too. Russell Wilson, not the answer there. And I think we talked about it on the last episode is that
Dabble's on a hot seat.
Yeah, they're not going to wait.
Yep.
So that offense doesn't play well week 2. I would not be shocked if Dart's playing week 3.
And he looks like he's going to be a fun fantasy player. So if you don't have him on your teams, I mean, at this point, he's probably too expensive in Dynasty world. But in redraft, he's worth the pickup if you can drop like a backup tight end or drop somebody you don't care about. Drop somebody that you're like, I got him on the team. Maybe he'll go off. Drop him because Dart will go off. He gets the opportunity. If he gets on the field, he is going to go off. He has the talent to do it. He's just so raw, man. It's like Justin Fields. He's going to put up fantasy numbers. It's just those kind of players that they might not be true winners on the field, but they put up stud numbers when it comes to fantasy. And Fields looked best of both worlds, by the way. I think he really looked like a leader. He looked cool, calm, and collected. He made smart throws. He really didn't force the ball in like he used to. He had some sail away, but overall, I was really impressed with his poise. I think his poise was the key to that game, in my opinion. I'm
And
happy. I know you're
and that's why we
smiling
call it
ear to ear. Yep.
overreaction.
Week one overreaction. Well, when it solidifies your thoughts, you can overreact. When it doesn't back you up, then you can say that term. Whoa,
I
let's not
guess.
get carried away here. Outside of that, there's some other big updates. I guess Daniel Jones, they literally scored every drive. So that's hilarious. I know you were pretty adamant. Anthony Richardson was going to be the guy. He's not the guy. Daniel Jones is more viable in fantasy. I've said this since day one. He's going to make Michael Pittman viable. I remember we made our preseason wager on Michael Pittman. He looked awesome. He's their main target. He's out there running routes. He's healthy. I mean, the guy hurt his back last season. He was banged up. And the guy that everybody thought was going to take over that wide receiver position, Josh Downs, was barely on the field. It was very weird. Alec Pierce was out there more than him. You got Adonai Mitchell out for like a couple of snaps here and there too, but it was the Michael Pittman show. And Tyler Warren was heavily used, so that was fun too. So for the guys and girls that invested in Tyler Warren, well played. I didn't. I stayed away from him. I got a couple Loveland shares, but I just didn't think, I don't know, Steichen usually doesn't get those tight ends moving there. I mean, I always thought Mo Alley Cox would be something who's never been anything. So what are your thoughts on that? I just kind of went on a long rant. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love this
No,
shit.
only other thing I would add, Dolphins offense looks atrocious. That was a terrible game.
Yeah.
Tua looked terrible. Weird comments after the game too about turnovers and stuff. Like, I know what he's trying to say is like, it's one game. It's not his whole career, which understood. But again, media likes to overreact after week one. I actually bet the Dolphins this upcoming week because it's just, I think there's value there. Very well could be the worst team in the league if they continue to play like that. And it'll be interesting to see how the Colts do. Were the Colts that good or was it the Dolphins? You know what I'm saying? We'll find out.
We will. We definitely will. I'm very interested in that. I had the Colts winning that division, I believe. So
yeah, that sounds good. I think they're at like, someone was talking on the radio today. I think they were at like plus 450 or something like that. So
for the division,
yeah,
I don't hate that. Yeah. I think, I can see them winning 10 games. I really can. I don't think that's not that unplausible. A few teams trip up here and there. Some other teams, Sam Darnold didn't look good. I think you were already signed up for that train. You were like, he's not going to play well. You were pretty adamant about that. I thought he'd play better than what he did. I still think he's going to do okay, but yeah, didn't check any boxes.
I was impressed with how the Raiders looked too. I wasn't expecting that. I guess Gino looked pretty good. They just just how they're being coached, and you can kind of see it. Like it's completely different than it has been. I knew whenever they got Pete Carroll, it was going to be a good thing, even if he's only here for 2 or 3 years, right? For the organization, it's just I didn't really expect him to do much this year, but. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to be good by any means, but it was nice to see them go on the road and win.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And that was another game. I was not impressed with the Patriots at all. Everybody, Drake May. Everybody in the fantasy community is so big on him. I even tried to target him in a couple of my leagues. I thought he was exciting last year, but he did not look great. And just in general, that team just looked rough. I was really hoping.
I mean, he threw a lot too. He threw 46 times.
He did. So I was very confused by the amount of times they threw the ball there, especially with Vrabel coming in. You think he's going to bring that ground and pound mentality that he's always had, and you draft a guy like Travion Henderson. You have Ramondre Stevenson still heavily involved, and you didn't do anything. I don't understand why these guys weren't just fed the ball repeatedly. I don't know if the game script changed or if that's how he went in to kind of catch people off guard. Caught me off guard, and it didn't work. I don't know. Just didn't feel that game. That was a sloppy game by New England. I thought they were going to be a better team this year, and if they continue to play like that, they're not going to contend. I had much better aspirations for Drake May and that offense.
Right. Yeah, and they go to the Dolphins. So that was the game I was just talking about. So the Patriots play the Dolphins, and I like the Dolphins next week at home. So
I can see that. I don't hate that. Once again, it all depends. I'm sure shit not touching it, but I'll cheer for you, buddy. Yeah, I don't want to go near that Dolphins team. But you said the Dolphins, though, are favored, right?
Yeah, 1.5. So
something's funky about that. So Vegas knows something. That's one of those looks too good to be true.
Patriots.
Most people are going to go Patriots all the way. So if it looks too good to be true and if it just smells horribly fishy, it's because it's fishy.
Yeah,
follow
it's
the side that doesn't make sense.
Ask 10 of your friends or 10 people that you know who watch football, like who do they like in that game? They're probably all going to say the Patriots. That should be your number one red flag that, maybe I should look at the the Dolphins, because the Patriots will be a heavily bet public team, I think.
I mean, interesting game. It's not going to be a game I want to watch unless I bet too, because both teams are both like, yeah,
Right.
you know,
So
we're a little invested because we want A-Chain to play well. We got him in our top 12. I think we put Tyreek in ours, and then he went crazy and we dropped him down. I don't think we ever went into that again, but
right.
I'm rooting for certain players on that team. Oh, Jalen Waddle, didn't he get hurt as well? I think Jalen Waddle's out as well.
I didn't see
I
that.
didn't see him on the injury report, though. Is
Yeah.
he hurt? Let's see, Jalen Waddle. I remember he cutting out of the game, and I was like, that's not good.
Next thing that kind of caught my eye, and this was probably maybe my biggest shocker, was how bad the Lions looked. I really didn't believe that with the coordinators leaving that it was going to be that big of an impact, because a lot of the same guys are still there, everything like that. Now, don't get me wrong, Packers look good too, so maybe they are going to be an elite team as well. But the Lions did not look good, and I am worried about our golf bet, to be honest now.
Me too. I mean, how many yards did he throw for? It was insanely low.
Under 200.
So,
or not under 200. I think it might have been right in that 200 range. 225. Yeah.
The reason why I love the Bears so much was because they're getting Ben Johnson. And the reason why I love Justin Fields this season, because he's getting Tanner Engstrand. These are the kind of guys we're rooting for. Like Morton comes back in. He coached the Lions 3 years ago, was a quarterback's coach or something like that. You thought they'd pick it right back where they were, and they did not. So I hear you. I see what you're saying. I don't want to be week one overreaction. I'm chalking it up to a sloppy connection with the team, because there's some routes where Amon-Ra St. Brown looked like he didn't do the right way, or it was very confusing. It looked like not everybody was on the same page. So I'm chalking it up to just sloppy.
This week, they play the Bears in Detroit, so they can bounce back in there. But speaking of the Bears, that's the other bet that we did together that I'm also worried about, was the over 22.5 touchdown passes from Caleb. He looked okay in the first half, and then did not look okay at all in the second half. And it seems like he ran quite a bit, and that might end up hurting some touchdown throws as well, right? When he's running for touchdowns instead.
Well, the one play, actually, it's funny you say that, because he had the one rush that was awesome, and he got a touchdown from it. But they called him out on the 1 yard line because his foot went out of bounds. And he ended up throwing a touchdown. I was like, yes, that's vindication, baby. So Caleb Williams ended up throwing that touchdown there. What was amazing to me was just, I thought for some reason Cole Kmet would be a bigger part of that offense. I didn't bet him, but I felt like I should have, because there was a lot of value. And obviously the books knew what they were talking about. Just the bets looked too funky. We were talking like 2.5, 3 catches at like plus money. And if you know Cole Kmet's career, he's a 4 or 5 catch kind of game guy anyway when he's on the field. So you figured that connection with Caleb Williams, he's going to keep looking his way. He didn't look at him at all. He didn't look at Colson Loveland much either, too. He really didn't. The top targets on that team were DeAndre Swift. He had a lot of catches out of the backfield. That was one of our big prop bets. That was an easy win. Olamide, can't remember, but he played for the Eagles for a minute. He played for the Falcons for years, but he was an easy pick for us. I love that one. If you watched this preseason, you saw Caleb and him hooking up the whole time. So that was an easy pick. I think it was over 23.5 yards, which we smashed, and it was an easy one. But he did not look at the guys you expected.
Yeah, I thought he almost sent Moore to the hospital too on that one play. He ended up getting knocked out of the game, but he did come back. Right before that, he should have hit Moore on that go route, right? And he was wide open and he overthrew it. Definitely a lot of things that Caleb still needs to work on with the new offense. Even that pass to Kmet made him look good on that, because that was pass was too high as well.
The DJ Moore one was the most telling one. And I love how they broke it down. They showed it a few times on the replay too. They drew that out right away, which I love that. Zacchaeus, he was out in the flat, and Williams just stared at him for the whole time. And then he realized, oh shit, DJ Moore's wide open. He took too long at that point. Tried to fit it in a tight window when he had him for a couple seconds. We'll see how they rebound. There's a lot of tape to watch. That loss got to be really, really, really bitter for them. They should have won that game. What a disaster for them.
Yeah, gave up 21 points in the fourth.
Yeah, it was insane. We were spoiled, dude. That game was awesome. That Bills game, some saying it's one of the best games ever. I love that game too. Every bit of it. It was awesome. We crushed it with our bets. We hit numerous bets in that game. I loved every part of that game. The only thing that really disgusted me in that game was, where the hell was Mark Andrews? Like, I said this in the last episode. I was afraid that he hitting that age threshold, a little bit of injuries, I am slightly afraid that he looks like Travis Kelce that first game. Travis Kelce, we talked about zero separation. He did not look good at all. Hopefully he gets better, but I figure Mark Andrews, he's the man. He's going to be fine. And holy shit, he lost our bet. I almost hammered that one too, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I haven't really seen much of him. So I don't know how many units I bet, but 1.2 units. I need him to get 5 catches on the game. He had 1 catch all game. And watching that game too, if you watch it, he wasn't open. So it's not like he missed out on opportunities. There were none. He just was
Right.
not doing anything. So
Right.
a couple good blocks, but blocks don't win you fantasy games unless you got Derrick Henry, who just was unbelievable, minus that fumble. Just he's a man amongst children out there, just throwing them around like rag dolls. He's such a freak. I
Yep.
love
I
him. I
mean,
love watching Derrick Henry play.
it is too
Yeah.
bad too that that fumble happened at the end for him, because that's what people are gonna always bring up. Right? What about Hopkins? I mean, Hopkins with a hell of a catch there too, kind of going vintage Hopkins there. Didn't do much after that. I mean, he had 2
Dude,
catches.
it was super vintage. But he needed that. They needed that touchdown bad. And what a clutch touchdown. I mean, that was great on his part. Zay Flowers, another guy, looked really good. He was not going off boards in most drafts. People were avoiding him. We won. Keon Coleman, which I talked about earlier, was our 3rd biggest bet. We bet him over 37.5 yards. Super easy hit. Mark Andrews killed us. We had a prop bet. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both get 25 yards. That was a nice special at plus 150. We went after that one, almost put 2 units on it. So that was easy money. Actually, it was a little tricky money. Josh Allen didn't get those rush yards till the end of the game, really. He was not rushing until about the 4th quarter. Slightly worried about that one. Dalton Kincaid came alive. We bet the over on his catches. He did very well on that. So that was a fun game. That really picked us back up because Ridley killed us. Amon-Ra St. Brown killed us as well. The fact that Sunday night put us back in the mix gave me the ammunition to have fun on Monday night. So we would not have won as much money had that Sunday night game been so awesome for us. So what a weekend, man. It was a great weekend.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of fantasy takeaway. Travis Etienne looked okay. I mean, he's their guy now. I mean, that's the way it is. Quinn Allen now, he's going to get some carries here and there. Maybe pick him up as a sleeper. We made some bets already. Maybe we go over those bets for Thursday Night Football. Thursday night, let me bring up these bets. First, who you like in the game overall?
Game is the Washington Commanders traveling to Green Bay to play the Packers. This line is pretty much what it's projected to be at, I guess. I think my projection was at 3. I think that line's at 3.5. Not really a huge opinion on as far as which side to take there. Based on like the last maybe couple of seasons, though, the Dogs have done pretty well on Thursday nights. And getting that 3.5 is a pretty good hook when it comes to like football numbers and stuff.
Picks for our Thursday Night Football. You can follow me on these, but I felt very confident betting them. The first one was betting our boy Zach Ertz. I want to double down because he screwed us last weekend. He dropped a few passes and should have caught the 4.5 we needed to. So we're going after that again. So Zach Ertz over 4.5 catches. It's at plus 191. If you're not feeling as adventurous, go for that 3.5. I think it was at minus 130. That's a better value pick in terms of accuracy. You're probably going to get that one where I'm going to get screwed. I like Austin Eckler. There is a guy out there. I know we talk about him a lot, Bill Krosky Merritt. And sure, I'm rooting for him. He's fun to watch, but I still think Austin Eckler is the key to that kingdom. He had more touches last week. I don't know if they're going to change that, but I still think Dan Quinn keeps feeding the veteran. So I got Austin Eckler as rushing and receiving yards. We're going to bet over 49.5. And if you guys know Austin Eckler, he's good for at least 3 catches out of the backfield. Hopefully gets about 5-6 yards a pop, maybe 10, 15. We got that bet.
What was
Jordan
that number?
Love.
Sorry. What was that number?
It is 49.5 at plus 105. I like that bet. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
all these are all plus money too.
Last game he got 57 combined. So
Exactly. One of the things we talked about briefly was Green Bay shutting down the Lions. I'll tell you what, the Green Bay defense was awesome in terms of metrics. They looked phenomenal. So I think they're getting a lot of love, especially coming into next week. I think they're going to be, people are looking at these picks as the Green Bay defense doing excellent things, which they very well could. They have the talent. One of the bets that I was wavering on that I didn't make, people are buying into the Green Bay defense hype. So I'm going to bet against it because I think there's value there. I'm sure they had one good game. They look great. They did versus Detroit, but did Detroit just suck? So we'll find out. I'm going to bet that
and
Detroit
it's a short
doesn't
week,
suck.
Right? So there's that too.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. They're drained. Plus, Micah Parsons still trying to figure out the playbook, even though they just say, go get that guy. That's what he does. We bet Jordan Love, rushing yards. He's a fun guy to cheer for. His Legs look like they're back. He looked pretty mobile last week. I was excited to see that. I bet over 19.5 rushing yards. This is a big prop bet. I use a free bet for this. It's plus 500. If you want to follow me on that, it is a fun, crazy bet for Thursday night. I don't recommend it, but it's a fun, crazy one. If he breaks a good one, you're good to go.
And just to share some stats with you, last game, Love ran the ball 3 times and got how many yards? 4.
Let's do it again. Yeah, I was like, oh boy. Yeah, so he averaged roughly 1.3 yards a carry. That's pretty stellar numbers. So
yeah, so if he does that, 10 times or so, you might get
exactly. There. Yeah, exactly. We can do that. Law of averages. We can figure that out. So Jordan Love over 20 yards. You need him to get on the ground. That's why it's plus 500, folks. Which means that if you bet $5, you're making $25. So go ahead and make that bet. You'll be in a good spot. If you want to bet $1, you make $5. So it is a great bet to make. It's not great value on there, but it is a great bet to make. So you can have fun and be miserable with me if you have a free bet. Another one I liked, Tucker Kraft. He was a big part of their offense. I would have liked to seen him get more targets, but he had enough where I feel comfortable betting over 3.5 catches for Tucker Kraft. That's also plus money. That's plus 145. You can get him at 3 or 2.5. I saw at like minus 170. That's probably your safer bet. But once again, I like to hang my hat on, hoping he does a good day. Then finally, we have Matthew Golden, the wide receiver rookie that obviously Jordan Love likes. I think this continues. Sure, Jaden Reed looked good. Sure, they had a couple other guys come out of nowhere and make some good plays on Tavian Wicks, a few other players. But Matthew Golden, in my opinion, is the true wide receiver that could potentially take over that room. Romeo Doubs isn't the guy. Christian Watson can't stay on the field. By the way, they pay Christian Watson today. They're just basically paying him to get better. Sorry, that was a quick I really think Matthew Golden steps up and makes those catches and becomes that true alpha this year.
I'm looking through his Love stats from last game. 16 for 22. Receivers didn't have a ton. Dobbs led the team with 2 catches for 68. Looks like a 48-yard catch was his longest. I guess I was more shocked by the lack of statistics in this game, just considering how bad the Packers had pretty much manhandled the Lions. I thought it would be a little bit better than this now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, I mean, the Matthew Golden thing might happen. What was the numbers on Golden again?
3.5 at plus 200.
3.5. Yeah. So, I mean, he got 2 receptions last game.
Yep. Watching the tape, you'll see the guys that looked really good, and Golden was one of them. They got too many shiny toys there, and I hope Love doesn't get carried away and forget about these guys. But those are the bets. I don't know if you guys want to follow me, you can. I'm going to put them up on X. A lot to talk about after this. We're going to have another recording on Friday night. We're going to go over Thursday night and give us the picks for Sunday. Dan, you got anything else to add here?
I do not. Speechless.
All right. So hopefully you guys followed us on those. If you didn't, I guess you don't like money. Speaking of money, if you want to sponsor this, we love money. So look for the emails at the end of the shows and in the chats. Go ahead and follow them. Send us your information. We won't even vet your company. You're welcome. Okay. You are welcomed in this church of football. We got the stained glass, and it's your birthday. So
it is.
What a fun day. Fuck me. We didn't even mention that. All right. Let's do that. You ready? Let's go through it one more time. Indeed. I just want to give one major shout out to our co-host here, Dan Ambrose. It is his birthday. Dan Ambrose, if you did not know, is turning a whopping 39 years old today, looking very handsome and dapper, and continue to host with me, buddy. Happy to have you on here. We have a good time and always good. So
yeah, hopefully I have a couple more years left to do this podcast, so it'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully makes it through one season. So we've edited it enough where we don't get canceled yet. We might keep in something by an accident, and I'm sure everybody will publicly cancel us. But follow us on X. If you don't, that means you don't like money. D'Ambrose04 is Dan. Myself, I'm BShells13. You can always look for us on other shows as well. You'll be seeing on our X. We're going to put some stuff up there too. But this is the Stardom Betem Fantasy Football Podcast. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family about it. Yeah. Goodbye. Thank you. It's going to be a fun edit. It's going to be a lot of work.
Different magnetic. Yo, my raps volted, here my memory banks and never be released. Box cutters out of Apple, you're in for a treat. Paper cuts in a vicious way.